It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. I'm almost flattered, because this is very new for me, being among all those scholars in recreation, leisure, and distinguished professors here. I come from the University of Eastern Finland. I hope you know where Finland is. It's one of the Nordic countries, very far from here actually. And I represent the business school, which is quite small. We are no more than some 60 people working there in the business school. And we are interested in innovation management and service management, and of course accountancy and law and such kind of things. I also represent the Center for Tourism Studies, which will be part of the business school from the beginning of next year. And this Center for Tourism Studies is also small. Finland is a small country. We are only some 5.3 inhabitants, and we have several universities and even more applied universities. So none of this is very big. But I would say that although we are only some 8 to 12 people, depending on the projects going on in the Center for Tourism Studies, we are the only and so the best in tourism business in Finland in terms of research and development. And as we are located in the eastern Finland, it means that it is lakeland Finland, it's rural Finland, it is very much about forests and lakes. That is the reason why we very much do research in the context of rural tourism and nature-based tourism. And I was asked to talk a little bit about wellness, but well, I'm not going to use that term actually. And the point of my presentation will be, I'm trying to explain and justify more or less why we Nordic tourism researchers and most of the Nordic tourism business representatives, we do not use the word wellness. We talk about well-being tourism. And I think it fits very well into the atmosphere of this conference and with the forthcoming presentations tomorrow. I'm not going to give you any definitions for wellness tourism because there is not one and only, but wellness tourism, here is the book of Melanie Smith and Laszlo Butsko. This is the second edition, but there will be the third edition soon. In this book you can find all those possible wellness tourism definitions. They all refer more or less to elements of lifestyle, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. So, well-being is here as well mentioned. As being a marketing professor from my background, and being very much in consumer research, we business researchers and especially marketing researchers, we see tourism from the consumption point of view. So tourist is a consumer, and it's about consumption. And as we all know, this wellness has become some kind of a culturally accepted means of seeking happiness, well-being, quality of life. And all these wellness businesses and also research on wellness has been booming during the first decade of this century. If we look at the consumer research and also marketing messages, we see that wellness very often refers, of course, the word comes from two words, well-being and fitness, but it refers to lifestyle of discovery, self-responsibility, social status as well, prestige somehow, and it's very much connected to these kind of commodities, you know, these vitamins and all that kind of stuff. And today, especially in Finland, we are very interested in all these equipments, how you can measure your blood pressure and all that kind of things. So this wellness is, among many people, expressed through consumption. But let's go back to the wellness tourism. In those days when we started to talk about wellness and well-being tourism in Finland and in other Nordic countries, that was some 15 years ago, we realized that, especially in the marketing messages and the marketing message concerning tourism, wellness tourism, it referred to something, and it still refers to something extraordinary. So I can't publish these slides because I have taken most of these pictures here from internet, from the advertising of wellness tourism. So but here you can see that it seems to be something extraordinary places, extraordinary, some kind of different kind of facilities, and luxury. Luxury, of course, is a very subjective concept. What is luxury for me may be everyday life for some very rich people. And if we think, for example, a mother of 2-year-old twins, luxury would be simply having a night, a good sleep in a bed without no one disturbing. So, but still, if we look at the marketing message and the pictures, it's very often refers to luxury facilities, luxury, beautiful, something very special looking, even bling bling stuff. Luxury accommodation, well, somebody would say this is just ordinary, but for me it would be luxury. Wellness also in marketing messages, and we saw this Derby University presentation, it's about pampering, hedonism. Although also these eudaimonic motives and self-development and spirituality and all that kind of things may be included, but see, and very often it's with young beautiful ladies having massage and doing some beauty treatments. But we in Nordic countries, we are born in this Lutheran Protestant culture, and we don't want to show our wealthy, maybe somebody has some money hidden, but we hide it normally. We don't build beautiful castles anymore. Someone did earlier times. What do we have? We have nature. The Norwegians have these beautiful fjords and mountains. We in Finland, we have lakes and forests. This is from my own photo album and from a hike which I made in North Karelia, where I live, and in our national park. We have our Koli National Park there. So this is how it looks like. And we haven't yet faced any crowds there, so you can walk quite a long day without meeting anyone. We have winter. We have the beautiful and cold winter. It may be in January even -40 in Lapland, but it's dry, don't worry. So you won't die, it's not humid. January month, if you really want to feel the cold winter, please come to Nordic countries, and especially Finland. This is what we have, and our Asian tourists, they come to Finland in wintertime in order to see the aurora borealis, northern lights. And most of them also know that if you have your wedding night, your honeymoon, in a hut where you can see the northern lights at the same time when you're doing some family planning. So it enhances the fertility. So you should come here. We have 4 reasons, the 4 seasons. That's what we have. That is our resources, and that is our environment. And this is the reason why in Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, we started during the first decade of this century, we really started to think what might be the Nordic definition for wellness. And we didn't want to call it wellness because we didn't want to arouse false ideas and false images, because we don't have that kind of luxury. We don't have the bling bling. We have the other kind of luxury, as I showed you. So we defined it as well-being is a multidimensional state of being, describing the existence of positive health of body, mind, and soul. Well-being is an individual issue, but is manifest only in concurrence with the well-being of surrounding environment and community. We also have been doing research together with, not we, but not at our university, but Liisa Tyrväinen, who is a researcher at the, it used to be Finnish Forest Research Center, now it has Natural Research Center or something like that. They have been doing research on the positive effects of nature and forest, but also we have relied very much on the Japanese colleagues, and there is lots of evidence that nature, being in nature, has positive effects on physical health and mental health. So you can read. I will give you some references. So if you want to have to look at that. And in our region in North Karelia, we have been doing, or we have had two nice development projects. Actually, one of them together with a Japanese physician who introduced us the Japanese Shinrin-yoku, meaning forest therapy. So being in a forest. And we have also been doing, during the last few years, lots of research in some kind of motivation research. Why do people want to take a well-being or wellness holiday? It's very much about the relaxation and enjoying the opportunity to escape. Of course, these are the things, but if we look at the wellness concept, this physically activating focus is in the wellness offering and in the wellness concept. It's very much about the body and it getting fit and looking good and that kind of things. But if we look at the Nordic type of wellness, this well-being, it's more about experiencing nature. Not just sitting in gym and doing these exercises, but very much more about experiencing nature with senses instead of carrying the physical. So the nature-based well-being tourism offering in Finland, this is what we have somehow managed to, this well-being thoughts we have managed to bring also to the Finnish Tourist Board marketing, Visit Finland marketing, and out of three basic themes that Finnish Tourist Board Visit Finland is marketing at the moment, two of them refer to well-being tourism. And the one is Silence Please, which refers to emotional motivations. And in one of our latest works, we talk about silence and the sounds of silence, and I will show you some examples again, what that might be in terms of well-being tourism. So, and the other one, the other theme of the Finnish Tourist Board is Wild and Free, which refers to the physical activity and self-development motivations. So, I don't have a slide about sauna, but sauna is Finnish. Don't believe the Russians or the Swedish people, they sometimes may refer to sauna as being their innovation, but even before them, Finland, every single family, every single house in Finland has a sauna. And sauna is a sacred place for us. We can even have an ice sauna made of ice. I can tell you later on if somebody wants to know what it means, but still. So these are about the Finnish Tourist Board well-being product called FinRelax. So we have a registered trademark for that. And of course, something about the sustainability, of course, and sustainability is about local food and stuff. So mushrooms, picking berries, and the local berries are part of the well-being. So, Nordic well-being is, instead of luxuries and accommodation and other facilities, according to our studies and according to our test trips, we have had 2 Chinese small groups and 1 Japanese small group testing our offering in North Korea, and we've been doing research on that. There will be some quotations and some pictures. The pictures are from the Japanese group because I was involved with that, but some of the quotations will be from the Chinese group. So, wellness, well-being, Nordic well-being is about feeling the sounds of silence. One person, one of those, it was a Japanese group, said, I really felt relaxing and calming down when I was lying on the rock with my eyes closed at the same time, feeling the soft breeze and sun on my face. I heard just the wind, and so forth. This is from Koli National Park, the Japanese friends there. It was a small group, so no crowd. It's about feeling nature with all senses, not only gazing, but touching and doing all those smelling and tasting and so on. This was the most beautiful and mysterious place I have ever visited, was this person saying. I had the possibility to collect beautiful mushrooms. It was fun that one could find berries. In Nordic countries, we have this everyman's right, which means that you can pick berries and mushrooms everywhere. You don't need to ask the permission from the landowner. So, Nordic well-being is also local food. These are Karelian pies from my my home region. And in our well-being tourism products, one part is making Karelian pies. So, and that making and baking. So it's about fish, it's about berries. Cooking and making this in the future, in the nature. So it's about Nordic well-being is about empowerment and relaxation in the nature. I could feel with all my senses the life force of the nature, and I felt so empowered. So, this is Nordic well-being. These landscapes and these activities are very ordinary for us, inhabitants of the Nordic countries, inhabitants of North Karelia, inhabitants of Lakeland, Finland. But these simple things may be very extraordinary to our guests. Welcome to Nordic countries, welcome to Finland, welcome to North Karelia.